Three, two, one. Welcome back to Yin and Yas for episode 3.
It is episode 3.
What year are we up to now?
94 and 95. This episode is called The River of Dreams.
My favorite song.
So there's a pretty picture of us. I don't remember that day, I bet you do. So we'll talk about 1994, 95, our wedding,
Okay.
what it's like living in poverty,
Oh, fun.
our first apartment,
Okay.
and your graduation.
Yeah, that's a lot for those few years.
Title of this episode is River of Dreams.
Yes, and I really wish that we would have probably named the last episode that. I'm really kind of thinking we should have done that because I recently told Jessica about me listening to this song when I was pregnant with her. It came out in like August or September of 93. And it is still to this day one of my top favorite songs because when I can't sleep at night, this is what I sing to myself in my head. And when Jessica and I were on our retreat, our meditation retreat last summer, and I couldn't sleep, I did this song in my head. And I come to realize that Billy Joel is probably one of the greatest songwriters of our generation, many generations. But yes, this song means a lot to me because it's just so rich with metaphors.
Well, I think it's a good, it fits you very well, but there's nothing wrong with the song you picked in episode 2, which was, remind us what episode 2.
I would do anything for love, but I won't do that.
That seemed to fit.
I liked Meatloaf, but this song tops that. Tops it.
You can have both.
Okay. But really, I should have probably named the last episode this, but, better late than never. Because here we are embarking on a river of dreams, right? We're getting ready to get married, and we had a young family. Hootie and the Blowfish, Hold My Hand, comes in a close second.
This is good enough for episode 3.
It's the best.
So don't shoot it down, man.
It's the best. No, it's the best.
All right, so how about that day?
Yeah, that was a fun day. Look at that dress, though. I hate that dress.
We'll get to that in a minute.
I hate that
dress. June 18, 1994. What happened June 17, 1994?
Oh, that's when OJ ran from the police. So you can always keep that on the little calendar. Yeah. Our rehearsal dinner is when OJ ran from the police and the white Bronco chase.
Honestly, for the calendar's sake, I think he's already passed away, so his calendar doesn't matter. And the other people involved, well, their calendar doesn't matter anymore either.
Well, I'm just saying it's one of those pivotal moments, like everybody knows where they were when that happened. If you're still alive today, you remember where you were when OJ ran from the police.
All right, so is that all you can really say about?
Well, I just did.
Bill of June 94.
What you mean about the OJ saga?
There's really not much else to say about it other than that was a big deal the night before, right?
That was a big deal the night before. That can hallmark it on the timeline. So when we got married, neither one of us were very religious, right? Did you grow up going to church?
Off and on.
Okay. I lived down the street from a Baptist church and I attended like Sunday school and things like that. But for the most part, I didn't go to church very much. I was one of those kids that got sent to the preacher's office to learn about the concept of God because I kept trying to challenge it. Like, you could kill somebody and still ask for forgiveness. That doesn't still really seem legit to me.
Well, you know what? We have a slide about church.
Okay. Well, so anyway, suffice it to say, I'm not hugely religious, although I am spiritual. But we had a child out of wedlock, like I said in the last episode. We did everything ass backwards. But you would think that that would lend us a little bit of credibility. Like we were doing the right things, according to the church and making it right or what. So you would think that we wouldn't have had such a hard time finding a place that would marry us. But yet we did.
All right, we're going to get to
Am I getting too far ahead?
Yes.
Sorry.
You're skipping.
Sorry. I'm going to drink.
Listen now. I've got a sequence.
Okay, far be it from me to interfere with your sequence.
All right. So that was our wedding, right? So as you were about to say, most churches wouldn't marry us because Jenny was a teen mom,
They gave
unmarried.
us the finger.
How many churches did you talk to?
My mom called 6 before we found one that would marry us.
What did those 6 say?
Well, you usually had to be like a part of the congregation, or the fact that we had a child out of wedlock, and really, when in the grand scheme of things, this isn't that long ago, right? This is like the early 90s. You wouldn't think it would be that long ago, but I do remember my grandmother, who was born in 1928, saying, well, Jessica won't be illegitimate because you guys are getting married. And I was like, okay, well, thanks, Grandma. I was really losing sleep over that, thinking she's going to be illegitimate. Like, I just, some people just are hung up on things that I'm not really hung up on. But I did find it shocking that we had to call 6 before we found one. And now, if I had it to do over again, obviously the dress would have been changed. But I wouldn't have gotten married in a church if I had it to do over again. Would you?
I wasn't keen on anything spiritual. I just assumed everybody good gets married in a church. And I assumed we were good, so we're going to get married in a church. Let's get married in a church.
See, I feel like we did it for other people.
Maybe.
We did it for your family and my family to feel comfortable.
So
it wasn't about them.
What are we looking at here?
This is one of my favorite pictures because this is me getting ready for the wedding. I have you can see my garter on my leg.
Right there.
Jessica is a baby. She was like 6 months old. Yeah, 6 months old. And she's just looking at me like I was getting her ready. I put her little tights on and I put her shoes on. And she had a dress that was peach. It was like one of our wedding colors. And so I was getting ready to put her dress on. But she's just staring at me. And so I don't know. It's just one of my favorite pictures.
I like it too. So this was...
touches my heart.
This was a few...
This was that afternoon.
Maybe within an hour of our wedding, right?
Yeah. Couple hours, yeah.
You were a busy, busy girl.
Mm-hmm.
Were you thinking about OJ at the time?
I was not, no.
I probably wasn't either.
No.
So you're getting ready for one of the biggest days of your life.
Mm-hmm.
With one of the most important people in your life.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I like it
and
too.
I'm with one of the most important people in my life right now.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Look at this handsome guy.
Yeah, that's my dad. That's probably the most dapper he's ever looked.
He looks real good.
Yeah.
All right. So you got something to say about the dress?
Yeah, I hated the dress. And so, again, you have to realize I was 17 years old.
Broke.
More than half my life ago. And so, 3/4 of my life, really. Yeah. So... yeah. So my mom had a friend whose daughter had just gotten married, and they still had the wedding dress or something. And my dad is cheap and does, but I mean, like his only daughter, right? And I'm getting married. If I had it to do over again, I would have stood up for myself about the dress. But here we're saving $1. I think we did the whole wedding for like $1,200 or something. And so that is a borrowed wedding dress that had to be tailored because the girl was heavier than me. And it's just a Laura Ingalls hideous. It's not me.
Tell me what dress you had in mind for yourself.
I really didn't. I mean, I'm 17. I didn't think that far ahead.
I get it.
I just was like, okay, I mean, I would have married you in a parking lot, with a sundress on. I wouldn't have, it didn't matter to me. But now in retrospect, it matters more to me.
Would you say
sense.
you settled for it?
Yeah. I'm very unhappy with that dress. But now, if I needed to go out, if we needed to do like Vows 3.0, I could go out and afford to buy myself the dress that I want. But if I had it to do over again, my parents kind of failed me on the dress.
Well, let me just tell you, you look nice. You look happy.
Okay. Thanks. I
That's
appreciate
what mattered,
that.
right?
Yeah.
Damn, your dad looked fine.
He did look good.
And then we had a wedding reception.
Yeah. See, look at that big bow. It's just, oh.
I never noticed
so awful. I mean, everything about it is just Laura Ingalls, Little House on the Prairie.
So we had a wedding at a church, and then we moved the shindig a few miles up the road in McCutcheonville to a fire station.
We rented that fire station out for our reception.
And there we are cutting a cake.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know what's going on with the
I think
big
that was
hug.
our dance during one of our songs, and yeah, so that's a good picture.
Had a really nice haircut.
Mm-hmm. So do you wish you wouldn't have worn your dress uniform? Do you wish you would have worn a suit, or do you have any
I don't regret it.
regrets? Okay.
I kind of cheated a little bit. That's what was called the Army Class A uniform, but I wore a Class B shirt because it was June and it was 100 degrees outside. So technically, to be a Class A uniform, I should have been wearing a long sleeve shirt under that jacket, but damn,
Yeah.
I was hot.
It was hot.
And ain't nobody telling me nothing different.
Mm-hmm.
I seem to look satisfied.
Yeah. That's a good picture. Those are both good pictures.
I think we look pretty young there.
Yeah, we do look like little kids. We're little babies. I mean, you were what, 20? And I was 17.
Yeah, that's young.
I wasn't even graduated from high school yet. I was in between my junior and senior year of high school.
Yeah. Newlywed, senior in high school.
Craziness.
And then what happened? A honeymoon.
Yeah.
So we went to Chicago.
That was again a Charlie Howler special.
No, that was us.
The day after our wedding, Charlie Howler took us to St. Louis Cardinals game, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
The next weekend, we took a bus ride to Chicago.
That's
which
right.
was what we called our official honeymoon.
Yeah, because that's all we could afford. It was a tour bus.
So, I don't know, what was that? June 20 something, and here we are. Look at you in the little sweatshirt, freezing your butt off.
Yeah,
remember?
The bus stopped like at a Dollar General or something, and I went in and bought a sweatshirt because it was cold.
I was stuck in my short sleeve shirt all damn day. I don't think it got into the 60s that day. Do you remember?
Yeah, it was really cold. I had shorts on, and I just bought that sweatshirt. Yeah. And we went, 3 or 4 days? We went to the Sears Tower and a couple of Cubs games.
That's right. It was a few days. It wasn't just an up and back. It was up there, see a game, go to a hotel, some sightseeing, and come back.
And I want to say it was like $75 or $85 a person, but that's all we could afford. Maybe it was $100 and something a person, but we paid for that ahead of time, and we met at the old Kmart parking lot and got on that bus. It was like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. and we went on that bus, and there was nothing but old people. Like, we get on the bus and we are the only people under the age of 60 on that bus.
Oh my God, I forgot all of that. And I remember that I was glad to see that my car was still in the parking lot. Thank you for reminding me. It was Kmart, which is now Rural King.
Yeah, on St. Joe.
And they haven't repaved that parking lot since it was Kmart.
Yeah.
And I remember
he got on the intercom and said, "We have a pair of newlyweds on the bus," and like everybody turned their head and looked at us because we were the only ones under the age of 60.
Yeah, that made us feel good, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, wow, we're actually part of this world.
Like, can you guess who the newlyweds are?
And wasn't that our first time away from our newborn?
Yes, I think so.
Our first time away from our 6.5-month-old baby.
It could have been my second, because I think I had journalism camp in May or early June, and then we had our wedding, and Jessica stayed with my mom for like 4 or 5 days. But yeah, both of us being gone from her. Yeah,
that was pretty big week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty big weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It was my first marriage. What about you?
Yeah, first one. I was 17. Yeah. What in the world?
Wedding
first
number
baby,
1.
First baby, first marriage. Yeah. A lot of firsts. Now yeah. We'll get to that in a minute. A lot of firsts.
Anyway, I'm almost done.
First graduation.
I'm almost done with my second gin and tonic.
I'll never forget my dad saying that my family must hate me because I had a baby, got married, and graduated within a year and a half. Within 18 months, I had a baby. We got married 6 months after that, and then a year after that, I graduated. So, like, my family's just shelling out money, like Benjamin Franklin's, like, left and right for us.
I get it. As a father of 2 girls, I get it.
So, yeah. So, that was quite funny.
Well, we're thankful for all those people because...
Thank you for your money and your gifts.
Yep. We were dirt poor.
Mm-hmm.
What did we really have? The correct answer is each other.
Yeah, we have a lot.
Whatever was given to us.
True.
Because, damn, we lived in a mobile home.
Yeah, those lamps, those ugly lamps.
I knew you'd see that.
Grandma's, in my grandma and grandpa's house. And let me just say, like, these lamps mean a lot. Well, they're ugly as sin, but they had ships on them. And so as a child, I had a good imagination. And whenever, like, my Uncle Tony was struggling, or there was an episode where, like, the family was fighting, or maybe Tony was hospitalized, I do remember, like, staring at those ships and making stories in my mind about how I would sail away or go, like, I just made up stories in my mind about books that I read and things like that. So they kind of are symbolic. I feel like those lamps are symbolic.
What happened to those lamps?
I probably sold them in a yard sale or something. Who knows?
Okay.
I don't know where they're at.
All I can say is, hey, man, we needed light in that mobile home.
Yeah, but they are ugly lamps.
I think it's neat that the first thing you see is the lamps. How about that handsome guy with that little baby girl?
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I just see, like, all of our old stuff. I see the little details of our old stuff.
I get it.
Look at how tiny she was, though. She's so tiny.
She's a little baby. And, I'm looking at that old recliner. I remember every bit of that recliner. Mm-hmm. Look at the corners with the cat scratches.
Yeah, it's all ripped up from your cats. Jessica's tiny. She only had like 5 outfits that we had to change out because, well, number 1, we didn't have any money. But number 2, she was so tiny. Like, I had to get her preemie clothes, like little preemie stuff. And then I'd have to, like, do laundry almost like every day because she only had like 4 or 5 outfits that fit her. And because she weighed like 5 pounds. And so she didn't have a whole lot of clothes.
So I did some calculating. I made $5 an hour. My take-home pay was $163 per week.
That sounds about right. Yeah. I remember that. You'd get paid every Friday, and we'd go to the bank. It was like a paper check. We'd go to the bank, and we would watch Star Trek with Jessica in her wind-up swing that my grandma bought at the yard sale, and we would order a $5 Papa John's pizza, and and we only spent like $30 a week on groceries. I remember we budgeted like $30 or $35 a week on groceries.
$5 an hour, and Charlie would always throw in a little extra as a bonus.
What's throw in extra? What is it? How much do you?
Well, he always did a very good job of calculating. This many hours times this rate. Here's an extra $18 or something. Always gave me a little extra. He may have done that to all of his staff. But he always just threw in a little extra. And at the time, I was also an Army reservist, which I don't know what did that give us?
I think it was like $100 a month or something.
100, $120 a month. So.
And you'd have to go a weekend.
That was a whole weekend for, what is that, $30, $40 a week extra?
Yeah.
So there I am at almost $200 take home pay a week.
And I didn't have a job.
You were busy working and being a mom.
Yeah, and Jessica, at first we didn't have daycare. We didn't have free daycare. So I found a lady in the paper that I went and interviewed that lived over by our old house off of First Avenue.
Peggy.
No. Peggy was later. Peggy was my grandma's friend. There was a lady when Jessica was a baby, just 3 or 4 weeks old is when I went back to school. And she charged $35 a week, so basically $7 a day.
I forgot that.
Yeah. And so I took Jessica there for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And so that was $35 a week. So that took your whole reserve money, $35 a week. I went to the ATM on Friday and I would pay her $35 on Friday. And
did you say the ATM?
Yeah.
Did we have ATMs in 1994?
Yeah. We called them money movers, remember? It was a money mover. You had the card that said money mover on it, remember?
I do remember that.
Is money mover, kids. Just take that. Just noodle on that for a little bit.
You didn't log in.
No. It was called the money mover. I got to go to the money mover. Remember, you used to say that all the time.
Yes, I do.
Let's go to the money mover.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Okay, but ATM, basically. So I would go get money and then go pick her up on Friday. And then one day, I was taking a child development class at North High School. And Miss Olberding, who was in charge of there was Little Husky World, the daycare there. They didn't have any openings. I tried to apply. She came into class one day and she got me out of class and pulled me into the hallway. And she said, Jessica had been going to this daycare or this lady's house for 3 weeks. And she said, we've got a spot and I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to have for Jessica. And I was over the moon. It was like somebody had just handed me a lottery ticket. So she took me down to the daycare and showed me around and let me meet the workers. There was 2 ladies that worked in there, and kind of showed me the routine. And we had to go to monthly meetings, which was not a problem after school. And so, yeah, we had to provide diapers and formula, but it was free. You didn't have to pay.
What were the monthly meetings for?
Just to make sure, everybody's following the rules. Kind of like an adherence thing.
I have to admit, I don't remember this.
Well, because you didn't have to do it.
Well said. So Jessica was born, I guess, during the winter break.
Close to the winter break, yeah.
You start second semester of your junior year, and Jessica goes to, what was her name?
I'm going to say her name was Katie or something. Caitlin. It's been so long
how long
ago.
A month?
I think 3 weeks. I think 2 or 3 weeks. I took her there for 2 or 3 weeks. So we paid 2 or 3 weeks of daycare, $35 every Friday. And I'm thinking this is the way it's going to be. This is going to have to be built into our monthly budget because there wasn't a spot at Little Husky World, you know.
Okay, so she goes there for almost a month as a newborn. So we're talking late January,
Yeah.
and then you find out
Like we're going to be gifted back this money and we get free daycare.
we get $7 a week back.
$35 a week, $7 a day.
I'm sorry, yeah, $35 a week back into our monthly budget, and Jessica
Free
gets to
daycare.
go with you to your high school.
Yes.
I must admit,
You don't remember this?
I remember the name Little Husky World.
Little Husky World.
And I remember the little playground outside of it.
Yeah, they had a little preschool for like the 3 and 4-year-olds, and then they had a place for the babies. They had like 5 or 6 babies, like
Right.
like 18 months or younger.
And
That's where Jessica went.
So you finished your junior year of high school with your newborn baby with you there. Is that right?
Yes, and then my whole senior year, she was able to go for free as well.
She continued. We had free daycare.
We had free daycare. That was a gift. It was like I said, it was like a lottery. When Miss Oberding pulled me out to the hallway, I cried.
You were in somebody's heart.
Yeah.
For sure. You earned that.
Evidently, I made some impressions on some teachers at North High School. Thank you very much in the 90s.
On you, young lady. Good job. So, I mean, really, we kind of toot our own horns for making it on our own.
Oh, no.
But damn, we were given a lot.
Nobody ever makes it on their own, honey. This is the whole concept of socialism. Like, we'll visit that at a later date.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. But I'm just
saying, these are all...
This was not a socialistic concept. This was a gift. This was...
Are you kidding me right now? This is socialism in action.
This was not socialism. This was a gift. This was a gift that we're thankful for, and I think we agree on that.
Okay, but it was funded by community dollars. I mean, anyway.
What would we have done if you had not been given that opportunity?
We would have continued probably paying Caitlin $35 a week. She had like 1 or 2 other children that she watched. So we would have probably continued to pay that. But Jessica got it was like a really quality daycare setting because they followed state procedures. They followed a certain method of...
I'm blown away because think about it. $35 a week to us right now
is nothing.
Is a lunch.
Right, it's nothing. It's nothing.
To us back then was a quarter of our budget.
Yeah, it was our food budget. Basically,
now,
that's what we spent on food a week.
Yeah, I'll admit, I'm a drink and a half in, and my math is probably not very accurate, but $35 a week was
$140 a month.
Was very big on our budget.
Yeah, that was a big deal. And also, too, I hate to say this, but you know how kids are. You know how teenagers are. So they used to take the kids out to that little playground that was right outside the daycare center.
Tiny. I remember that fence.
And there was a lot of classrooms that were alongside, that hallway.
The math hallway.
Yeah. It was a math hallway. And so one time I somebody told me, or I was privy to somebody talking, I overheard that the kids would like rate the best dressed kids of the day, the best dressed infants and the best dressed like preschoolers. You know how kids are. I mean, you always have to rank them.
Sounds like some BS rumor.
But I used to always bring Jessica in my mom would always buy her outfits. I mean, she still does, but that's just a grandma thing. But mom would always buy her like different clothes. She had that Cubs outfit that she wore. And I also had these sunglasses for her. And so whenever she came into daycare, she always had sunglasses on. and that was always kept in her cubby. And they would put those sunglasses on her if they were ever outside. And so she looked really cool. And I just remember her being ranked as the best dressed infant a lot. And like, not that matters, but I remember like secretly you're like, oh, that's my baby. That's my baby.
Who had the audacity to actually rank a teenage mom's little baby?
These are 14 to 18-year-old children, okay? I mean, we were children. And I'm just saying, I remember that being a discussion, and they thought Jessica was the best dressed kid in the daycare.
I don't know if I should.
I know.
Am I supposed to congratulate you on that?
It's so wrong, but I'm just sharing that because it was a real thing.
Fuck those people.
It's a real thing. I mean, you know.
Okay, in your little world, that's what you had.
But it was just because my mom, her grandma, was buying her clothes. You know, I didn't have enough money to buy her clothes.
Lucky us.
And those shades, they were really super cool. They were pretty cool.
Okay, so we were gifted a very nice opportunity for daycare.
Yes.
Did you know we're already a half hour into this?
Are you serious? We're going too long. We got to keep moving. We got to keep moving along.
So we didn't stay in that. I know we're running long, but look at this damn place. We couldn't even close the windows. The fence was broken, and the deck railing was dry rot. So here is my cute little wife.
I'm taking my lunch.
Because we were too damn poor to buy food.
Mm-hmm.
Look how cute you were. Anyway.
I'm so cute.
You're damn right. Anyway, we didn't always stay in that mobile home. We moved on up, son.
Moving on up.
We got us an apartment.
On the east side. This east side-ish. Weinbach.
It was real.
area.
It was east of Highway 41. So anyway, I don't have any good pictures of the front of the duplex, but I can tell you.
What made you get this picture out?
Well, because it's in the same room as this picture. This was Jessica's first birthday.
This wasn't her first birthday necessarily, but that was.
Whatever.
Yeah, she's eating like a toddler biscuit right there.
The key things I want you to take away. A 1920s duplex near say with me.
University of Evansville.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
This plaster-cladded apartment, little duplex, had no air conditioning.
Right, we had a window air conditioner.
Next to a college, and we were college-aged people, but we weren't going to college.
Do you want me to remember? I remember the rent money.
$250, right?
Yes, and when we lived in the trailer, we just paid $100 lot rent.
Look at us.
We bought the trailer. I think you had saved up like $3,000 or $4,000 from the military and from your allied job, but my dad didn't want you to use all of your money, so he went in halvesies with you. I can't remember if you put in $1,500 and he put in $1,500. Anyway, we bought the trailer and then we just had to pay the $100 lot rent a month. And then when we moved to the duplex, it was like our rent doubled or more than doubled because now we were paying $250. Still unheard of housing prices. You know, so our first tax return that we filed in 1994 was for $13,000.
No way.
Yes.
Come on.
I hand to God. I remember numbers, Jay.
You're not religious. Don't tell me we got hand to God $13,000.
I swear to you, it was $13,000 something.
I think you, young lady, you need to move your decimal point.
You only made $13,000 in 1994.
That makes sense, but we did not get a tax return of $13,000.
No, you made your adjusted gross income for the year of 1994 was $13,600.
Okay, that I believe.
Yes.
Okay, folks. I came from $13,600 a year. That's where we started.
That's where we started.
A little over $1,000 a month.
Yep.
Can you do that?
Are we looking for an attaboy? I'm just trying to keep up with. What are we doing?
Well, I think you should be commended from
Okay.
starting that low. Financially.
Because I was a rich kid?
Excuse me. Financially. $13,500 a year. I'm not going to say what we do now, but it's more than that.
Yeah.
$13,500 a year is where we started.
Family of 3. Okay, are we moving on? Because we're over time.
Very well. The next part, just like in our second or third slide, we were going to talk about Ginny's graduation.
Oh, goodness.
This is the only picture we have.
I think that's the only one, yeah.
18-year-old Ginny graduating from high school with her baby girl attending her graduation.
Yeah, Jessica, I think my mom and you guys were up here, like in the bleachers, and Jessica had her pajamas on. And
well, it was late.
And she was excited, though. She was clapping. I think she was on my mom's lap. Yeah. So I had my baby at graduation.
Please explain the little ribbon.
Oh, that was my academic honors. So you had to like make a certain grade point average and take certain classes to get Indian academic honors diploma.
It's not nothing.
It's not nothing. I didn't go straight to college, but it's not nothing. The School of Hard Knocks.
You little badass.
All right, let's move this along. Let's keep spinning.
Boom.
Oh.
This bitch is over.
Okay.
Thank you for attending episode 3.
We didn't really touch on anything political except for the definition of socialism.
Thank
we
God.
need to get you some education on that.
This was not a political conversation. This was about people deciding to work their asses through it.
And some socialism with the WIC vouchers and the free daycare. Just saying.
That was in episode 2.
And then historical data is the OJ running from the police. So.
Well, that's not political.
No, it's not political. It just gives a timeline.
You're not giving yourself enough credit.
Oh, I give myself credit and I give you credit. But like you said in the beginning, we did not get there by ourselves. And we have to remember that. Nobody is a self-made person. There's always going to be an institution or circumstances that are going to help you along to ride that wave.
That's a very good point. Now, please, pick up your Buddha.
Oh, I still got it with showing the finger.
Because Jenny got a little pissed off at religion. Hold it up for the camera, please.
I hope the Buddha side?
Yeah, hold it up to the camera, please. It's a Buddha, and if you're too religious,
or if you screw us, it's the finger.
Because many churches turned their back to us when we reached out to them.
But secretly, it all worked out in the end because we had a female minister, and that really chapped my grandpa's ass. And so for that, I am thankful.
And that woman's name was Ruth.
Ruth Milgate. I'll never forget you, Ruth.
Thank you, Ruth.
Thank you, Ruth.